Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Corey again here for our segment of Talk Sports Talk with Corey today. And I wanted to explain to you, I hope everybody's having a great day. And we're going to get into some sports and talk about some sports today. I hope everybody can hear me today. So I'm going to talk nice and loud so people can hear me. Again, welcome. I'm excited to be here. And my first topic is to talk about the Twins today. We got some news today that some of our Twins players have tested for coronavirus. So, yeah, the Twins organization has said that they don't think it's anybody in the ballpark, and they think that they're going to be able to manage it. So that's good because we're going to start practicing. And as you know, baseball is back for 60 games, and we're going to have a 60-game season. So go Twins. I'm sure everybody's excited about that. So there's going to be, the way they're going to do this is they're going to start taking temperatures when they come into the ballpark. They're going to monitor players. They're going to have to do daily testing when they come to the park and, when they play for games. And then if anybody is tested for coronavirus or has it, they're going to immediately, usher them from the ballpark, and then they're going to be monitored. They're going to have to go into quarantine. So that's the way they're going to do it. They're going to run a tight ship with that, and we'll see where that goes. I'm pretty excited about the Twins starting. We'll see how we do. Hopefully we have a good team in the field, and I think the players and the union are ready to get going. It was very, very fierce negotiations. At first the players didn't want to. They rejected a lot of their offers, and then they decided to, after discussions with the player union probably just came out and said, hey, this is the way it's going to be. Either we're going to play or we're not going to play. So they kind of mandated them to do it. So they kind of got forced into doing it, and then the players finally agreed. So we'll see how that goes. Let's talk. There isn't really no Timberwolves news for NBA because they didn't make the playoffs, so they're not included into this NBA restart. A lot of players in the NBA are very, very tentative and very nervous about this coronavirus situation. As you know, they're going to be starting in Orlando. Everybody's going to be together for all the teams, and nobody's going to be able to leave their hotels unless they're going to practice or they're going to the game, and it's going to be a very tough slate for the families, and I believe the families are not going to be allowed down there. So NBA players for the next 12 weeks are going to probably be away from their families. So it's a very, very touchy situation. A lot of players are apprehensive about the start of this NBA season, what's left of it in the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. We don't know how it's going to go. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but it sounds like a lot more players are very, very, very nervous about the coronavirus in the NBA. And as you know, for any sports, there's not going to be any fans right now. So there's going to be no fans for hockey as of right now, for hockey, baseball, basketball, and football right now. In NFL-related news, they said that there's going to be a season, but they decided to cancel the Hall of Fame game, which starts in August. That's usually when players go into the Hall of Fame or they get nominated to be into the Hall of Fame. So they usually have a service in Canton, Ohio. There's going to be no Hall of Fame game. It's been canceled. And the reason why the NFL did that is because there's no incentive on that. Why not wait till the regular season gets going? Why not get all the coronavirus, implemented into the season so we can keep track of that. So yeah, this coronavirus is really, really, really doing havoc on our sports. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't think I was trying to think of what else. There is soccer. They were saying little soccer news that the women's USWA, they got that pending lawsuit with soccer, and it sounds like they're not going to hear that case until next year right now. So there may not be any USA women's soccer coming up. I know usually around the summertime, they come around to different stadiums and play exhibitions against teams. As I know right now, they're not going to have that. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, so I'm trying to think of any other interesting news at the top of my bat. A lot of the high schools I heard are going to do practices, but they're going to do them in a controlled environment. So right now I've been talking to some friends who coaching high school football, and it sounds like they're probably going to have it, around the city here and in the state of Minnesota. There's going to be high school football, but again, there's talk about limiting fans, all the whole works, taking temperatures and making sure people are not sick and, keeping that into a controlled environment from what I heard. I got some news from some friends who coach football and high school football that it sounds like there's going to be that going on. As far as college football goes, we're still going to have a season. We're still in a holding pattern. It sounds like a lot of the teams are going to be starting spring football training, but as you know, a lot of the college players have tested positive for coronavirus as well, too. So this isn't just a NBA, hockey, basketball thing. This is going all over, as you guys know. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if we're going to have a college football season, and if we do, there's going to be no fans. Which is very, very, very tough and heartbreaking for people like me who are sports nuts, because I like to go to a lot of the events, and I'm sure most people do. So we'll see how that goes. So today, while I'm here with you, I just wanted to thank everybody for the support on my on our little sports talk with Corey. I really, really enjoy being able to do this. I'm very, very humbled to be a part of this, and I just wanted to extend, my many thanks to the people who have done this activities, Patty and Amy and a lot of the, Angie and a lot of their staff behind the scenes to make this possible. I really wanted to thank them. So with that, I did get a question from a resident who was asking me about Kirk Cousins. And why do I not think he can perform at the best level for the Vikings? And I'm gonna take at least 2 or 3 minutes because this is kind of a lengthy subject. I'm very, very touchy when it comes to the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. And so one of our residents, Mr. Bob Vanstrom, asked me a question about what I think about Kirk Cousins and why he can't win, and where do I think he's going to go down the future. As you know, they just signed him to a 2-year extension, so that means we're stuck with him for another 2 years. And to answer your question, Bob, Mr. Vanstrom, is that it's not that Kirk Cousins is a terrible quarterback. He's not a terrible quarterback, but the Vikings have a problem with putting talent around him. With the first problem with the Vikings is their offensive line is just terrible. They have had a terrible offensive line for years, and we just seem that we cannot protect the quarterback. So with that, if you know that our offensive line is not very good, you can't protect whoever our quarterback is. Kirk Cousins, Dante Culpepper in the past, whoever's been our quarterback, we can't protect our quarterback. So if Kirk Cousins doesn't have time to throw and he's under a lot of pressure, where can he throw? He's either going to throw interceptions, he's going to get sacked, or he's going to throw it out of bounds, and it's going to be a turnover. So my suggestion with that is that they need to get their offensive line fixed. And I think after a while we drafted some offensive line players. We still need a lot of help with our offensive line players, but the problem is they have to consistently draft more offensive line players to be good. We have to protect the quarterback, and if you can't block and you can't protect, how can you run? So everything decides at the offensive line spot. But he has been proven in the past not to be a big-time performer. He hasn't, when he's on the big stage, he does not play very well. And this goes back to his days when he was a quarterback for the Washington Redskins before he got here. He had a lot of problems in Washington, and he just has not been able to be a big-time performer. So I'm hoping, he can flip the switch on, or something lights up in his head to get some better passes, because his passes have not been very good. So, his touchdowns are pretty good. His touchdowns are up, and his passing and completion percentage is up, but it's not translating into wins. And we need wins. I could care less how many yards you pass for, as long as we win the game. If you pass for 5 yards and we win, hey, that's great. But that's part of the problem. And do I think going forward, can he be a great player? Yes, he can be a great player, but he has to have all the tools to help him. And that starts with the Vikings. The Vikings have to surround him with better players, better weapons, and more people that can get the job done. It's like a team effort in a job. You can have a quarterback, but if you don't have people around here to support you, you're not going to be very good. So That's my take on the Vikings. They need to do some more work in that front office and get him some more help. I'm praying that he has a great season. If we decide to have a season in football, we'll see how that goes. But I'm hoping the best for them because I like the Vikings, but as everybody knows around this campus, that they let me down time and time again. So it's very hard for me to get excited about Vikings football. So that's the answer to your question, and I just wanted to take the time that if you have a question, make sure you call Patty's office desk there at 5750 star 5750 and ask your questions. I think this is the best part of the segment for me, is to be able to answer your guys' questions. So I don't care if it's football, if it's soccer, if it's basketball, come talk to me. Send us a question and I'll be happy to answer your question. So that's pretty much going on in the sports world today with Corey on this segment, Wednesday with Sports Talk with Corey. I am pleasure to be with you again. I'm very humbled, and I hope that you tune in for the next show. And everybody with that, have a blessed day. Bye-bye now.